For over 2 years now, Frieren has been the #1 anime on my anime list, overthrowing Fullmetal Alchemist, who previously held the spot for over a decade. Now, it's not rare to see an anime claim the top spot. Dozens of shows have done it. Death Note, Gurren Lagann, Gintama, Your Name all had their time in the spotlight. But as it stands, in the last 2 years, everyone has agreed that this deserves to be #1. An anime that's changing the fantasy genre for the better, that shows us the importance of our relationships and how a fantasy show can tell very real human experiences. I'm not here to tell you objectively why Frieren became #1. I want to show you why I like it and why I think it deserves this spot. But first, thanks to Zenless Zone Zero for sponsoring this video. Zenless Zone Zero is a fast-paced action RPG where you can build a team of agents with real-time switching, giving us an incredibly fluid combat experience. And in the latest version, 2.6, we're brought back to a place we're oh so familiar with. 6th Street, where we meet the newest faction introduced in the game, the Angels of Delusion. Let's meet some of them. We got Suna, who despite being shy and soft-spoken, is a strong utility support setting up big damage windows for your team. Perfect for someone like Arya, the energetic vocalist who can dish out insane amounts of damage to enemies under her anomaly states. But the Angels wouldn't be complete without their leader, Nan Gongyu. They also synergize really well, especially if you include the newest Bang Boo, Biggest Fan, who can give healing over time and extra bonuses the more angels you have on your team. This version is just jam-packed with content. There's a rerun banner for Isshin and Yuzuha, premium outfits for Suna and Arya, and an idol-themed event with rhythm-style gameplay. I think now's the best time to get into ZZZ because they're also adding a new mode to Hollow Zero, and a sweep feature for repeat runs. And yes, free rewards too, with daily polychrome through logins and a limited time lucky draw. For more information on version 2.6, check the links in the description and try the update out for yourself. When I go on my anime list and I sort by fantasy, I'm immediately bombarded with shows about reincarnation with an average of 6.5 stars. 10 out of 10. The rise of isekai has legitimately downgraded the fantasy genre into cheap knockoff stories doomed to be copied and pasted forever. Every fantasy will have the same map, the same party, the same demon lord killed by the same black-haired MC, watched by the same audience ready to gobble up the next one. But don't take my word for it. I'm an idiot. Just listen to the director of Ghost in the Shell lamenting that all that gets made nowadays are isekai stories, dumbfounded by the existence of the vending machine isekai and that there are fewer and fewer grounded anime being made. You know it's a problem when the people inside the industry are fed up with shitty isekai. Frieren breathes life back into the now derelict world of fantasy, and that's clear from the very beginning. The story starts after the big adventure, so instead of having this singular focus of saving the world, we're given the freedom to wander and explore the land as much as we want. Of course we do have a goal. We want to reach the northernmost region of Auriol, and that's where our supposed journey ends, but nothing is pressuring us to do that right now. In fact, I'd be pretty disappointed if Frieren became an action-heavy, fight stronger and stronger opponents kind of show, because that's not what makes it unique. Those few episodes when they were against Lugner and Aura got my ass sweating. I thought my fears would be confirmed. Thankfully, it didn't overstay its welcome. And I actually got to know the characters more through these episodes. Stark became more fearless, Fern became stronger, and I found out Frieren is a racist.
Mods, crush the skull, thank you.
Throughout the entire series, from seasons 1 to 2, we move from city to city, from town to town, learning about the lives of people after the war. I guarantee almost every other episode of Frieren will have a montage of them staying in a village for a month, just doing random shit. These little tidbits make the world feel more lived in. My favorite ones are those that talk about the heroes outside the main party. Yes, Frieren, Himmel, Heiter, and Aizen are the world's saviors and undoubtedly the most recognized, but I love that the show gives praise to the unacclaimed, the unsung heroes of bumfuck nowhere. Before Himmel, there was the hero of the South. Before the hero of the South, there was Kraft. And in the middle of both these guys, in the small nooks and crannies where few ever go, there was Vol. And if you stop to think about it, it totally makes sense. It's crazy because one of them literally killed 3 of the most powerful demons in the war. But that's my point. Stark and Fern aren't aware of him. No one even knows his name, despite this momentous achievement. Yet his role is indispensable, and plays into one of Frieren's biggest themes, the passing of a memory and legacy, sacrificing himself knowing that without him, there wouldn't be peace. And in the end, everyone remembers who dealt the blow, but only a handful know who gave them that opportunity. Kraft is a case of someone who has done incredible things but is buried by time. Someone who once saved the world according to locals but is now credited with a nameless statue. Time will do that to you. Even Heiter acknowledges that someday people will forget who Himmel was. But similar to the Hero of the South, it's not the name that matters. It's the impact it has on people. Kraft is one of the reasons why Sein and his friend pushed to become adventurers, and is still to this day leaving quiet impressions in the lives of others. Vol reminds me a lot of my granddad. Unlike Kraft or the Hero of the South, no one really knows who Vol is outside this village. It's likely that if Frieren and her party never came across it, they wouldn't know him either. Since his whole life was devoted to protecting this village, a request from his late wife some 100 years ago. What really gets me with Vol's character isn't his actions for his wife. I've already watched Up. I'm permanently immune to crying. It's the fact that he's gone way past his life expectancy as a dwarf and has gone senile. Everyone knows what happens when people get old. They start forgetting things, but you're never ready to face it once it happens. To see this person you've known your entire life just forget you is frankly heartbreaking. That's what happened with my granddad. And as someone who has personally been on the receiving end of that, I'm surprised by the amount of care given to this scene. In the last few minutes Frieren has with Vol, she realizes that he indeed does not remember who she is. And when she mentions her goal of reaching the Demon King's castle, he's relieved to know that they'll finally be defeated. Defeated? No, Vol, the Demon King's already... And as Frieren is about to correct him, she stops herself, and instead says she'll carry on his memory in the future. One of the things you shouldn't do to people with dementia is call out their mistakes. Like, buddy, they're gonna forget who you are in 10 seconds, what's the point? And Frieren, with knowledge and forethought, decided to hold herself back and let Vol have his peace. Because just like in the real world, the goal isn't to cure them. It's to make their lives less painful until their time comes. The next scene when Vol tells Frieren about remembering his wife is bittersweet. Because the day they suddenly remember everything all at once is when you know they're close to leaving. And that's when I cried. I love that despite being a fantasy, Frieren has some of the realest moments I've seen in an anime.
ザイン、年上のお姉さんと旅がしたくないか？
バカかお前。そのためにガキの頃の俺は冒険者を目指したんだぜ。
Nah, he real for that. When I look at Stark and Stoles, I see a boy looking up to his older brother as he stands in front of this kid doing everything he can to protect, care for, and teach him what he knows. When I see Sein and his brother, I see a man sacrificing his personal interest, telling his little brother to go pursue his dream, never once regretting this decision. I relate so much to Stark and Sein in these situations as a younger brother with older siblings. And the fact that I can relate to these scenes is a sign that they did a great job at raising me. And then there's love. I never expected to enjoy Fern and Stark's relationship. I thought she was too annoying and I thought he was too stupid. But at one point, I was stupid too. Just less now. I used to fumble over what to give a girl. I used to ask the older guys where I should take a girl on a date. Never do that, by the way. Guys don't know shit about women. One of my favorite moments is this one in the cabin, when Stark touches Fern's face with his cold hands. Fern gets scared not because of the face touching, but because he grabbed her shoulder with too much force. The result being this playground fight between two kids that I at first rolled my eyes at, until I realized these two were kids, both orphaned at a young age with no one else in their age group to connect with. Only each other. And so when misunderstandings happen, they aren't forced drama. They're two kids growing with and learning about the world together. Of course they would play. Of course they would argue. And of course they would fall in love. I can think of at least 20 more examples just like this that could easily stretch to a 30-minute video. But I don't have the time nor the energy for that. This video was already emotionally taxing to write. I want to talk about one last episode that I believe ties all my thoughts together. It's in episode 3 of season 2, which released just a week or two ago, and it's about Frieren and the gang looking for a place with hot springs. But when the local tells them that all the hot springs in the village have dried up, they mention that there's a hidden one up in the mountains at the back. Frieren recalls the Etvas Mountain hot spring from her adventures with Himmel, but suggests it be quicker if they just head to the next town to find hot springs there. In a rare moment of eagerness, Stark pushes the party to go. And despite it being a long and difficult trek, having to spend at least 2 nights and a day fighting a 3-headed Hydra, they finally reach the hidden hot spring. I would have thrown myself off the mountain if I saw this. A foot bath. This is what they spent all that trouble for. Listen, even if they had a group of MILFs there, it wouldn't be worth. Even if they had a buffet of food there, it wouldn't be worth. Even if they had League of Legends there, it wouldn't be worth, bro. But for some reason, Stark seems totally content, because at least they can enjoy it together. He recalls Aizen telling him this exact story, how it was just a foot bath. It wasn't worth the effort at all, a totally ridiculous adventure. But it's a memory he wouldn't trade for anything in the world, and a view that he will never forget. I don't have to tell you the lesson behind this. Even a preschooler knows it's about the journey, not the destination, and the memories you make with your friends. I just chose this one in particular because it's deeply personal to me. Something I can pull from my memory bank and go, hey, this is exactly what my friends and I did in high school. And I think that's why it deserves to be number 1. A lot of anime tell really beautiful stories, but I've never seen an anime resonate with my own life experiences quite like Frieren has. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.